there, it is good to have you join us on today's edition of Worthy by Design, brought to you by Advent Cable Network Nigeria, ACNNTV. On this show, we'll focus on the journey from girlhood to womanhood and everything in between. I am Iberi Chims. Welcome. Today, the focus of our conversation will be on women in business. Now, owning a business has become one of the most viable means of growing personal income. The flexibility affords mothers with growing children is another reason so many ladies have taken to different forms of business ventures. But the pertinent question is, are you doing it right? What considerations should you make when starting a business? And how can you grow it? These and more are the answers our guest has come with. She is Madam Abasema Ajayi, the CEO of Hills Limited. I'm so excited because when I heard the fact that she has 30 years, in fact 30 decades of experience in business, and she still looks this young. Amazing. You're welcome to the show, ma.
Thank you very much. Brenda.
And I love your smile.
Thank you.
Let's get to this business conversation. Why did you venture into business, into fashion, when you had a thriving banking career?
The truth is, I was just thinking the other day that I've always done business.
Okay.
Because it's funny. I've always been interested in doing business, doing my own thing. For me, banking was like a school.
Okay.
It was a school I learned structure and all those things, management and all those things. So, because I've always wanted to own my own thing, own my own time, own my own family, own the way I raise my kids.
So it just worked for you?
Yes, perfectly.
So, but the question would now be, you chose fashion. Why fashion? In fact, shoe. The name of your business is Heels. So
yes.
why shoes?
I've always loved shoes.
Okay.
And because I have, I won't call it tiny feet, but nice feet.
Okay.
I'll own it.
Okay.
So I've always loved shoes, and I had a thing for shoes. Whenever I buy shoes, people always complimented me. So I don't like being all over the place. So I knew that for me to create a niche for myself, I had to concentrate on one thing.
And that was
fashion item, and that was shoes. Yes.
Amazing. And you have been in business for about 30 decades. What has kept you this long? Didn't you get tired of selling shoes?
No.
What has kept you?
Because I love shoes.
Okay, the love.
I love shoes. I love good shoes.
Okay.
And I admire people in good shoes.
So for someone who is starting a business or someone who is already running a business, is that factor love or passion?
Yeah, very important.
Why is it important?
Because that will keep you during the tough times. Love does not run a business. Passion does not run a business. So, but passion and love for what you do will push you, keep you, even if you lose everything, you rise again. Because it's what you love. It comes naturally. It comes easy for you. Amazingly, I don't like personal shopping. But when I'm shopping for my business,
you're so excited.
I'm in my element. So you understand. It has to be what I could have. I mean, I have friends who have a whole boutique that makes so much money, but it doesn't appeal to me. My own is just shoes, and I'm doing well.
Okay. So you have chosen a field, you have pursued it, and would you say you're reaping the benefits of?
Of course.
So for a young lady who is or a woman who is looking to start a business in 2021 or has started a business, what would you say are the rudiments she needs to pay attention to, given your experience in business?
You know, come to think of it, a young lady. I was once a young lady.
Sure.
Yeah, I was once a young lady. So when I started, I will not tell you it was easy. But you have to study the line, understand it, own it.
Study the line, understand it, own it.
Yes.
Please break these three things down for us.
Study, you have to research the particular thing you want to go into business. And when I say study and research, not what you see other people do. There are two different things.
Okay.
Because there were people who opened shop because I sell shoes because I was selling shoes.
Okay.
No. Look for opportunities. Look for a vacuum and key in.
So you must be trying to solve a problem.
Yes, very important. When you solve a problem, it will be easy for you. Even if there are other people doing it, create a niche for yourself.
Right.
From the beginning. Stay the course. People will come and say, you know, you won't say. Let me give you an incident that happened. When I started with Italian shoes.
Okay.
And they were expensive, high end.
And they're still expensive.
So people weren't aware then. People weren't traveling that much. Very few people used to travel then. So you bring a designer shoe, you say, I remember that shoe and bag used to be 25,000 way back. And one woman came with her friend and carried the friend's bag. No, you cannot buy this shoe. It's too expensive. And I sat her down. I explained to her. I wasn't upset. I explained to her why my shoes were expensive. Why? Because I have the passion. I have the patience. I love what I do. I need to educate.
And you had studied.
That's
why you could educate someone else.
I need to. Then the corporate ladies, I would say, madam, no, I will buy this one. I will go and give shoemaker. They will sew it around. I said, my dear, I will not be friend shoemaker. That I wear my shoes and give them out.
Okay.
And I made them understand that for you to, as a corporate person, you should buy a pair of shoes that will last you, be comfortable for you. Add a little more. Add just a little more. Invest on that shoe that you live in.
And that's because you studied about it.
I researched everything.
And so you were able to, you had mentioned 3 cardinal points. You studied, study, understand, and own it. So you're able to understand.
Yes. Because I studied, I understood why some shoes were more expensive than others. Quality, not ripping off people. That's another thing. That A is selling this dress for 100,000. You go and buy your own 10,000, and because A is selling, you want to sell as well. You have to study and understand that it is the quality
that determines
the price. How you buy it. Study the market, understand it, go to the right source so you get the maximum benefit or profit from it.
Now you talked about owning it.
When you own something, it becomes a part of you.
Okay.
You own the market. You own the class of people you want to sell to. You're not selling to everybody.
How will I make someone is wondering, how will I make the money I need if I...
No, you're not, nobody can satisfy everybody. You can't.
So you must know your target customers.
Yes, target customers, and own them. They will come round. It will take time. But because you own the business, when they come to your shop, they see the confidence in which, and where does the confidence comes from? Because you own it. And then they will relax and become your friend. And they will go and bring their friends. And their friends will see there's a difference in them. the swag.
That's very important.
When they use your product, it's not just about shoes. I'm talking about shoes.
Generally, yes.
Generally, in all, even in teaching. Do you know that there are teachers now who are billionaires?
True.
Especially with this online thing.
Yeah.
I follow this girl, Trisha P. And she said she was told that she would be a teacher, and she said, how can? Today, she's making, there's a course she just sold for 1.5. And people are buying in this pandemic. Do you understand? So in whatever you want to do, own it, study, understand it, own it.
I have to take home this. Study, understand it, and own it. Now, what are some of the mistakes, people make? I know I tried to start a business some time ago. I heard crayfish was selling. I'm from, that part where they sell crayfish, So I bought crayfish and, I went around, I was selling. At the point I got frustrated. How can I be smelling of crayfish and all of that? I felt that's what I needed to do as at then, because for God's sake, crayfish is selling. So there could be other people who are making that kind of mistake I made. Crayfish is selling, shoe is selling. What are some of the mistakes people make when setting out to start a business?
The mistake, you just mentioned one mistake, which is a very, I don't even understand, that you're smelling of crayfish. I don't even understand. When you're going to sell crayfish, you dress in a particular way, you package your crayfish in a particular way, so it will not smell. You put your crayfish in containers, so that when you step out, they bring out the crayfish. You're smelling like an Arabian princess.
Oh my God.
And you bring out your crayfish. They will even buy your crayfish because of the way you are.
So packaging.
Package yourself very well. Package your business very well.
So I'm not supposed to go, a lady is not supposed to go looking beggarly.
Go and be measuring crayfish as if you're in the market. You package your crayfish where, this pack is 1,000, the other one 500, the other one 500. Madam, in fact, you shouldn't be, you should have a bag. That's what you should buy, so you don't have to be worrying about crayfish every day. Have a bag, in the market is like, in those days, 28,000. So have a bag is 14,000. Instead of buying this for 1,000 every week, you grind it, put it in your freezer.
So packaging, that's what some people do not have when they're setting out to
study, understand, and
own it.
We use your crayfish as an example. I said, you have studied the crayfish market. You've studied how to preserve the crayfish. So you can market have a bag, one full bag. Madam, you can share one bag, 3 of you. It comes out cheaper. Do you understand? They will say, I said, yes. How do I keep it? And madam, just grind it. When it comes, clean it. Put it outside. Let it dry. You grind it. Put it in the freezer for 3 days. For it to, if any insects or everything will dry off. You bring it and put it in airtight.
So it's not about...
Yes, you've given them an idea on what
to do.
Save money and to remove the headache of crayfish every week. And then how to preserve it.
Problem solved.
Yes. You've won the market.
Wow, amazing. So I shouldn't have stopped at my crayfish business.
No, you shouldn't. I think you should.
I'll think about it again. Okay. Now let's talk about the web space. It has taken over businesses, especially now that we're in a pandemic, Every business is trying to launch online. How did you make the transition, or how are you managing, the two arms?
For people my age, my daughter said I shouldn't say I'm old. You see, for somebody like me, luckily for me, I've been in the social media space even before now. So I've studied it. I understand exactly
how it works.
How it works.
So it still takes us back to your study.
Yes, So way back, but because I'm not, this thing is mostly, don't get me wrong, there are people my age who are doing it. A few, because I've asked. I asked how you have to outsource what you can't do. But for a startup, a young person, you may not have that luxury or that finance to outsource it. So you have to study. In fact, for any young person going into business, I think you should study the tech marketing first.
Before you even
Before
set
you
out.
even start.
We'll come back to this conversation now. We'll go on a very short break. Please stay with us. It is educating. It is inspirational. It is relevant. It is spiritual. It is the parables, a program that brings to bear what parable means, giving us interpretations to each parable of Christ, and above all, teaching the life-changing lessons from each parable. Join me, Unzubechi Frank, on this station, the Advent Cable Network Nigeria ACNN Television, for the parables.
Christianity is not just something we say we have or claim with our lips. We have to live it out.
We have been speaking with Madam Abasema Ajayi, of the CEO of Hills Limited. You can follow the conversation on our various social media handles on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at Worthy by Design 20. Now, before we went on the break, we had been talking about, making the transition from a physical store to online and, the back and forth. Now, for a lady who has said, when I tried this online thing, is just not working and I don't have the funds to outsource, what would you be saying to her? Should she throw in the towel or?
No.
Right.
No. Never ever. In fact,
Never
in
ever.
everything you do, never throw in the towel. Follow it to the end. So that you don't have the money to pay someone, that means you just have to do a bit more research on how you can do it yourself. What exactly is the challenge you have? There are so many masterclass online that you can learn. There's YouTube there to help you. There are so many apps to help you edit your pictures. You invest in a good phone, and that's it. You just have to learn the techniques of posting the pictures to make your page engaging. They even go a step further to drop in motivational write-ups every day or every other day. So these are the little things. So you have to identify what your challenge is, and you look for help.
So don't just,
No, you can't. So how are you going to sell? You can't pay
Right.
someone to do it for you.
Great.
So you have to find what is the problem, what don't you understand? Look for help, ask.
Because the market is there.
Of course,
Great.
there's someone who is good at it. You may even get it free.
Great.
Online, if you do your research, you'll get it. YouTube, ads, so many places you can get information.
And now, women or ladies face a lot of challenges. I don't want to say naturally, because God didn't create us with challenges. But in business, these things face us on a daily basis. Now, what are some of those challenges that are peculiar to us in Skirt?
For women in business, finance
Okay.
is a challenge. Another thing is family.
Okay.
In fact, I will say family first, because especially the married ones, if you don't have the support of your family could be your husband, could be your kids, it will affect your business.
So you have to find a way to take care of those things before you set out.
Very important. You have to multitask. Well, naturally, God created us to multitask. That's why a woman will have 6 children and love them, take care of them.
True.
So you have to. So those are the challenges that I see. Because you may want to travel, to go, or just get up, plan to go to market tomorrow, and you wake up, your child is ill. You can't go. So you have to find a way
To take care of the home front.
Yes, very important.
If there's need, even get help to,
Of course.
you know, fix some
No,
of
no,
those.
no, no, you're not a superwoman. No, that's not what is taking you to heaven. You have to get help.
Great.
If you can pray, I mean, prayers is the
master key.
The foundation of everything. Without it, I don't know how some people do it, but for me, if you ask God in the most simple form, way, to lead you, to guide you, He will. He will show you where the challenges are. He will show you, He will give you clarity on how to solve this problem. Finances, women, I mean, even in the workplace, women are still fighting to get the same pay as
the men. Yeah.
So you have to source for funds.
Now, speaking of the sourcing for funds, where can she source for funds? Because you go for a bank loan and, you know, the interest rate is choking.
No, I will not even advise a startup to take loan. What I always tell young people is start with what you have. Start small. It's very good to start small, honestly.
Okay.
When you start small, you build. When you start, there's this joy, this fulfillment in putting 10,000, and you instantly see your 2,000 on top after all expenses. So next time you're going to the market, you're buying things worth 11,000 because you must keep 1,000 or 11,500. You must keep 500
aside.
Why?
Is there need for that?
500 because you don't know emergency.
Right.
You must always keep some from day one. You must always have your finances structured. So when you start, I mean, because you may not be, some people come from big families, they have family support. Some people may have saved on the job. Some people, you know, may have just
stumbled on money.
You understand? But forget all that small girl, big God. Start small. Even if you have the money.
Start small.
Start small.
I even think, you know, what you mentioned earlier, it helps you own the business when you start small.
When you start small, you'll be conscious of all the mistakes, all the loopholes. You be very careful. But when you start big, I can just breathe. Don't get me wrong. People start big and
make it.
And make it, of course. But I mean, there's just this thing about starting small and building. Most of the conglomerates, you go and read their stories. They started small and they built. And what you build, you can sustain.
What you build, you can sustain.
Yes. Because it's a school, you're studying, you're growing together. So even if there's a shaking, what you have learned
will help you.
Will help you. So that's just it.
Now, for, you know, people go looking out for investors. You have said start small. So looking for investors should not be the first thing.
No.
It should be finding your feet, finding the structure. No. So if you go looking for an investor, is having an excellent business plan all that is needed to succeed?
Business plan is good because an investor will want to look at your structure.
Sure.
If you don't have a good structure, I'm not putting a dime in it. An investor will want to look at your track record. So that's why I said you shouldn't be talking about investor when you've not even started. How do you know it will work? So you start first. That's me. That's for me. You start first, no matter how small. Because profit, it's high. Make I speak pidgin. It's high for paper. It's high.
True.
But reality, that's why a lot of people get frustrated. Because they've mapped out this thing, and you know, when you now start, it trickles in. You get frustrated. Meanwhile, you've invested so much.
And you can't pay back. The investors can't get, you know,
because you don't
anything from
understand
their
the business. You tell
investments.
them 1 year. In 1 year, you've not even eaten. Not in all cases, don't get me wrong. 1 or 2 will work, but majority, you know. I'm not talking about going to maybe your dad or your husband or your friend to say, please, give me this amount of money. Let me add and do this thing. Or maybe some places they will say, oh, minimum is 100,000. Meanwhile, you have 80. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about this big,
large scale
business plan, and then you start. You just steal yourself.
Okay, now we're preparing to round up. We'll end with this. You know, people say, or strategists say, the value you accord your business is what, you know, other people will see, and that's the yield it will bring to you. Put this together with your parting words to ladies out there who have either started a business or planning on starting a business. How do they do this packaging thing you mentioned ahead? And
like I said, when you own what you're doing, when you know who you are, people will
be
when
drawn.
you have the confidence in what you're selling, people will come in any business that you do. If you're, let's use our crayfish business. I mean, that was a typical example. You felt bad that you're smelling crayfish. But if you package your crayfish well and smell like Arabian princess, people will buy. They will not just, it's not crayfish that are buying. They're
It's the
buying
value.
The value, the person. So every woman is beautifully and wonderfully created by God. You already have a crown on your head. You're already a manager. You manage the home, you manage your life. Girl child takes care of the home. Forget all this boy child must enter the kitchen, which I'm all for it. My son has to cook for us to eat and all of that. But it is how God created us. I'm not a feminist, but I believe in the girl child.
So take all of
To
that
take
into
the
your
world.
business.
We just have a VP in America. What are you talking about?
Yeah, I didn't
We are
celebrate
aiming
that.
for presidency.
True.
You know, even in this Nigeria. So my parting words for every woman is own whatever you set out to do in your marriage, in raising your kids, in your business.
Great.
On the job, own it. Do the best, give out your best. And come out tops. You'll be respected. Even the difficult husband will be secretly admiring you. So telling his friends that even my wife. You know?
If we will go on with this conversation, we will end today. My own parting words, own that business. Whatever you do, your job, just own it. And everybody will admire you for it. You have heard it all from our guests. Now, the stage is set for the making of great business women. Apply the lessons from this conversation. Study successful businesses and value that business because it is an expression of who you are. Did you know that your success sets the stage for other women to succeed? Our guest has done her part. Make sure to do yours. I don't know if I'm going back to my crayfish business, but I'll think about it. Thank you so much for your time. Well, we really appreciate for the wisdom and everything. So, it's a wrap on today's edition of the show. Join us again next week, same time, same station, for another insightful conversation. Until then, remember, ladies, you are worthy by design. So own that business. See you next time.